The Nigel Bradham report from our good friends at Ernest & Son Old Fashioned Butcher Shop, 2 great locations. Bringing Teen and inside the Exchange in Linwood. Let them your cater next big event. Visit earnestandson.com. Philly Sports Trips dedicated to providing premium travel tailgating experience to the passionate fans of Philadelphia. ResidenceDE.com. Call them today to learn about their new phase of inventory. Visit them online. ResidenceDE.com. Good Wheels, quality used cars located on Delsey Drive and High Street in Glassboro. Stop by yourself. See how different your total automotive experience can be. Visit goodwheelsonline.com. And with that, we welcome in the starting linebacker of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nigel Bradham, who always joins me every Monday at 1:05. How you doing, Nigel?
I'm doing great, man. Couldn't be better.
Well, I would assume so. I mean, when we first started, this is coming off a loss against Kansas City. You guys have reeled off 7 straight, another dominating performance. I'm curious. I want to ask you this from a defensive standpoint right off the top. We're talking about Simeon going into this game. They make the switch to Osweiler. I wasn't really sure why they did that. But in any event, you and I talked about if you can get pressure on either of those quarterbacks, they're going to turn the ball over. You force the issue a little bit, and that's exactly what we saw. Did you guys get a sense early on in the game after you took the lead defensively where if you just kept pressuring Osweiler, he was going to make that mistake?
Oh, yeah, of course. The whole mentality in the game plan for that week was to stop the run, especially once we seen that Osweiler was going to be the quarterback. It pretty much told us that they was going to try to control the game by trying to run the ball on us and trying to, make it a two-way game where they can just open up that passing game off of the run game. So we knew going into that game, with that being his first start of the year, that we was going to just stop the run and then we was just going to apply pressure on him. And it ended up working out well, man.
Yeah, the one thing, and it's funny because, and I don't remember, it might have been I think it was the first drive. Did Denver score on the first drive of the game? They went down for the field goal?
Yeah, it went down for a field goal.
I think, what was that, the first time that you guys actually allowed an opening drive for a score?
Yeah, and that was that first 15, the scheme of plays pretty much. So those first 15 plays, and that's what they were in. So it's pretty much just trying to scheme us, being able to nickel and dime us and get downfield, and then they just end up being able to get in the range, just by pretty much trying to figure out what type of defense we was in. So, we went to the sideline after that, and we made our adjustments and what they was trying to do. So, I mean, we pretty much just wanted to take away that quick game because that's what was working for them.
Right. Yeah. And I saw. I mean, I think you mentioned the scripted plays. I know they tried to really, well, they did with success early on with Anderson off tackle. I mean, you saw 3 or 4 of the plays in that first drive. They were running plays. And then they ran him up the middle a little bit. I mean, he probably accounted for close to maybe 25-something odd yards just on the ground. It seemed as though they were trying, like you said, to get the ground game going to perhaps open up the passing game. You guys come back offensively with a touchdown. And I think after that, you just had a feeling, you guys were about to pin your ears back there defensively and make some plays.
Right, exactly. And that's all it was at the end of the day. We knew we was going to be able to get them in a situation where they was going to have to pass the ball, especially with the way our offense came out playing. We felt like our offense was hot. And we knew if we just kept getting them the ball and getting them more opportunities, man, they were going to score. So.
How about to play the secondary, too? Because with all these injuries, we always talk about the pass rush. We talk about the linebackers. The secondaries, you got some veteran guys, you got some journeyman guys, you got some young guys back there. It just seems like week in and week out, they're up to the task. It doesn't matter who it against, but there's always a big play.
Oh, yeah, man, because we got talented guys in the defensive backfield. Guys that pretty much can do everything. We got Malcolm playing linebacker. We're moving guys around. We put Corey Graham in the game.
Yep.
Patrick Robinson stepping up. We'll get Darby coming back off. We'll get back off the bye hopefully. So it's just like everybody's just been stepping up, man, and being able to make plays. We got a great group back there, and those guys are just extremely talented.
How about Fletcher yesterday? Again, sometimes you're not always going to get the sacks, right? But it's the quarterback hits. I think I counted 10 or 11 quarterback hits for you guys as a team. Kendricks, Barnett, Curry, Jenkins, Fletcher with 3. You got into the mix as well yesterday. So with the sack, you guys were able to just really dominate that line of scrimmage in the trenches. I think you kind of knew that's where the game was going to be won or lost.
Yeah, and that was we knew that we were going to win the game inside. Obviously, our front, man, is unbelievable, man. Just enjoying being able to play behind those guys and man, seeing some of the things that they can do and the way they can help me get off blocks and everything like that, man. To be able to shoot gaps is really it's just extremely fun to see, man. And the boys create energy up front, man, and we just feed off of it. And that's really what it is. I feel like we all just create energy. I mean, if you see one of us make a play, you see everybody celebrate. And that's what it is, man. We're having fun. We're having a good time out there. We enjoy playing with each other and building a great chemistry.
I also noticed, too, from last year, first of all, you guys are able to stop teams on third down, which was a little bit of an issue last year. And you wore down a little bit the team sometimes in that fourth quarter, but you're cleaning up tackles. It's not sloppy football. And that's something I noticed really early on in the season where, you look around and all of a sudden you see a bunch of flying green jerseys. There's 4 or 5 guys around the ball carrier. You're not allowing for that extra run after the catch, the yards after the catch. A lot, technically from that standpoint, cleaner football this year. And that's, listen, I think that goes unnoticed to the viewing audience, but not to you guys when you watch the film.
Right. It's pretty much like you said, just playing cleaner and being precise and trying and working to get better each week. I mean, we might still miss a couple tackles here every now and then, but we still have guys who feel like, all right, you might miss it, but man, I got your back and I'm going to be right there. So it's kind of like a controlled chaos type of thing, man. We all want to swarm to the ball and limit that yard at the catch because, those are where you can get hurt. Those are what create big plays when, those guys break tackles and next thing they break one tackle and that's it,
Yeah.
So we pretty much just have a mentality that we want to have each other back and be there for each other. I mean, we can rely on everybody and everybody can be accountable.
Again, 11 past 1 o'clock hour on a Monday edition of Middays with Q. Rich Quinones here. Nigel Bradham, linebacker of the Eagles, during his weekly spot for a couple minutes on this Monday. Another win by the Eagles. They've reeled off 7 in a row. That game, listen, I thought, I said going into halftime, that game was over. I mean, you just had a feeling that Denver, it just, offensively, they were not going to do anything. You know this. You've been in the league long. You know when you kind of break a team's will and they're frustrated, and no matter what, it's just not their day. Nothing's going to go right for them. I got that sense going in. I mean, it's a 31-9 lead. I mean, honestly, you guys played where you probably could have put up 60 yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, we put up a 50-piece, which was pretty good, I thought, still.
Well, yeah, no, listen, it's not like me saying last week where the game was sloppy. You put up 51 against an NFL team. Absolutely, you're right. But I'm just saying that's a type of – yesterday was a go outside and rake the lawn day because the game wasn't even close going into the half. It was a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't start out that way. Obviously, we had to go out there and get it done, man. We really was kind of motivated all week. Everybody was talking about their defenses and like saying they were the best defense in the league and things like that. So that got out, and our offense was like, oh, we got the best defense in the league. So how are they the best defense?
Yep.
So it motivated our offense the whole week, man. And you could tell, you could see it. You could see it, like how motivated those guys were to make plays, and it was determined that they was going to show, like, it didn't matter, We know who the real, one was, and it showed.
I'll tell you what, the offensive line has played lights out. I mean, I think the one sack once Lane went out as with Miller was against Sayamalo, but other than that, listen. Listen, but I said this during the top of the hour. When you can run the ball in the NFL, right? When you can keep the quarterback upright, time to throw, and you're averaging close to $150, $160 on the ground. We'll get into that in a second. And the offensive line is doing their job. That's a tough team to beat. I don't care who you are. Yeah. And Denver came in, right, statistically, arguably one of the best defenses out there. I think one of the best against the run. They got exposed again. The Giants did a couple weeks ago. You guys did it yesterday. You're ripping off 197 yards on the ground. 5.3 yards a carry. As a defensive player, you know after a while you don't want to you don't want to tackle anymore. You're getting worn down.
Yeah, man, that's tough on them. I like being on this side of it, just watching, seeing that they gotta figure out how they're gonna stop Blunt, Ajayi, and Corey Clement and Smallwood. So it's just funny, man. We loaded at the running back position, and it's great to see, man. We got a lot of monsters in that backfield, and they always come to play, man. Like you said, our offensive line was extremely, they really dominated that game. I'm pretty sure the whole offensive line will get the game ball off of that game. So,
you mentioned the ground game and the running back by committee and Jay Ajayi. Now, when he was in, you guys make the trade for him last week, and all of a sudden, everyone was clamoring when they were calling up, well, how many plays is he going to get? It's just like, hey, they're going to ease him into it, and then all of a sudden, boom, right? What happens? He gets a couple touches, and then he has that 46-yarder. Now, you played against him when you were in Buffalo, did you not?
Yes.
So, he's a tough running back. I was shocked. Honestly, it was like how he pulled a rabbit out of the hat here with a fourth rounder to steal. But, the knock on this kid coming out of Miami was the attitude, not the production. And I said, well, listen, sometimes it's amazing what happens when you go to a bad culture, a losing culture that doesn't get it. And then all of a sudden you go to a franchise that's playing winning football, young guy, all of a sudden you're out to prove something, you're reborn. What has he provided right now in that locker room with this team?
Man, he's came in. He's been everything we can ask him to be. He's going to be a tremendous role for us, man, as you can see. And he came in, he's been humble. He's a great guy. We honestly didn't see. Even we played him in preseason, and we practiced against him. So we didn't see his attitude or character problems then either. So I felt like we would have saw that. But he's a great guy, man. He's obviously a leader. And you can tell, he hasn't started leading our team yet because obviously he just got here, but he's obviously a leader. You can see it in his heart and his passion, the way he plays, the way he carries himself, and just doing extra, man. He's been working since he got here, been trying to get that playbook down the best way he can, fast as possible. So we'll see him more and more throughout the season, and it's just going, him and Blunt, man, that's going to be a hassle on some defenses, I can tell you that.
You got two running backs that run angry. You got one that's a power back, one that show you a little bit of elusiveness. You mentioned Smallwood and Clement. This kid's an undrafted free agent from Glassboro, and the knockout of him coming out of college is that he couldn't catch the ball out of the backfield, and now he's got a couple touchdown receptions. He's picking up blitzing. So, look, I know I asked you this last week, and I have to ask you again, though, but it seems as though you guys don't believe you've hit your stride yet.
No, we haven't. We still maintaining to get better, man. And focus on getting better as a team each week. And that foundation has been working for us. I think we can just keep doing that. We'll keep gelling as a team, keep growing as a team, and we'll be where we're supposed to be at the end. And that's our goal, is get to that Lombardi. So I feel like we just keep doing what we've been doing. Focusing on us and not looking ahead, not trying to worry about other teams or what other teams doing. Just focus on us and continue to get better, and we can continue to separate ourselves.
Do you look at the rest of the NFC right now? By virtue of the record, obviously, you guys are playing some of the best football in the NFL, 8-1. Again, you make the argument that you guys are the best team in the NFL. The quarterback is a front runner for MVP. The head coach could be a front runner for coach of the year. So everything's going well. It's amazing what happens when you start winning some football games here and there. But do you guys, have you started to take on that mentality or to a man in that locker room where it doesn't matter where we go? If we have to travel on the road, we know what we have. If they have to come here in Philadelphia, they're going to be in for a long, long afternoon.
Exactly, and that's what it is. I think the difference for us was last year was we were obviously younger as a team.
Yep.
It was our first year playing together. For the most part, but I think we've seen the growth because we had a lot of close games last year.
Just didn't know how to close them out in the fourth quarter.
Right, we just couldn't close, and I think that's the difference this year. We know how to close now. We learned from that, and it really just made us grow as a team, to figure out how to play certain situations a lot better. As far as everything from the head coach to all the players, everything just we all learned from that, learned from our mistakes last season, and we just been building off it. We try to build, we learn from our mistakes each week, and we just try to build off of that and just keep it going that way. It's like I say, it's just been propelling for us, man. It's just been success, and that's why we just got to keep focusing on that.
Yeah, it's amazing the maturation process from year 1 to year 2 for a quarterback. We've seen it over the last 20-something odd years, right? We saw it with Eli, we saw it with Payne, we saw it with Big Ben, we saw it with Russell. We're seeing it with Jared Goff, by the way, with the Rams, and now we're seeing it with Carson Wentz. I mean, the more you watch this guy, do you guys just kind of defensively just say, okay, just get us 17, get us 20, we'll be all right?
I mean, we feel that way anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Carson is Carson, so he feels like he can put up whatever he wants and which he can. And it's been proven, man. And that's what we love to see him, man. We all are like big time fans on the sideline, just watching our offense and just it's just building energy. We just feeding off of theirs and they feeding off of us. And it's just making our team grow, man. Even the special teams, it's been playing tremendous. And we done had a lot of key injuries on that unit as well.
That's right.
So it's been great, man, just to be able to see everybody being able to step up and be able to play a great role on this team.
Yeah, last one before I let you get out of here. You got the bye coming up. Sometimes when I ask players this, when they're rolling like this, they don't want to bye, but you know, you guys aren't going to complain. You get a nice, needed, a much-deserved break. First of all, you got anything lined up? You just going to have family time? You're going to relax a little bit? I know you're going to watch the games, obviously, but do some of you guys say to yourself, oh, man, the bye's coming? I mean, we're rolling right now.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like last year when we had that bye, we had the first bye, so we was rolling in, and it kind of messed us up.
Yep.
But now I feel like it's a lot different. You know, it's a lot later. We had a long stretch. We had a long stretch of playing. And then when we come back, we get a good bye. We get able to get some guys back healthy, like you said, and get ready for this Dallas game, man. That's pretty much going to be another conference championship game for us. And we get an extra week to prepare for it. So you couldn't ask for a better timing right now.
Just don't go on any boat trips, will you?
No boat trips with me, man.
Just, you know, hang out with the family a little bit. No, you know, we know what happened with that team in New York. You don't have to get me started on that. So
right.
Just
you might catch me at Disney World or something.
Yeah, exactly. Go see Goofy. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, listen, good stuff. Enjoy the bye week. Always appreciate it. Congrats on the win again, and we'll talk in 2 weeks, pal. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks.